everyone, welcome to another video by Assistive Touch. Today's presenter will be Ashley Colburn and she will be going over AppleVis. Enjoy.
We're going to go over AppleVis today. It's just a website, but it's a website that I send basically every client I've ever worked with for the past 11 years or so to this website because it is just a treasure trove of resources. It's a wonderful place to find answers and to keep up to date with everything that keeps evolving. AppleVis is run by blind and visually impaired people, and none of them work for Apple. So it's not biased. You're going to get their real experiences. They will tell you if something is a lemon of a device or if a software update is bad. They'll talk about their experiences with new things they've purchased. And they have reviews, tutorials, um, podcasts, and it gets updated daily. So I'm going to be going through that just a little bit, and I'm going to be using that as an opportunity to review some of the voiceover and or keyboard commands that you guys have been going at AppleVis. I'm going to hit H again.
Getting started with your first Mac, iPhone, iPad, or Apple Watch. Heading level 2.
Now, this is an incredibly important heading that we are going to come back to. It says getting started with your first, whatever order it said it in, Mac, Apple Watch, iPhone. There are links down below this to whichever product you have, and you can click on or double tap on or otherwise activate any of those links, and it would bring you to the treasure trove of all of their information on how to get started using these things. So this is how I taught myself how to use a Mac because I didn't know any Mac teachers at the time. And so I came here, clicked on getting started with your first Mac, and I read some text articles that were pretty just boring, keystrokes, cut and dry, kind of user manual type stuff. But then I found links they had to YouTube videos and podcasts with their actual teachers. So we will come back to this.
Latest Apple posts and updates. Heading level 2.
All right, latest posts and updates. I'm still just hitting H.
Has anyone used the A&W app with voiceover? Heading level 3. Link.
Now, has anyone used the A&W app with voiceover?
Introducing Envision Assistant Beta. Heading level 3. Link.
Introducing Envision Assistant Beta. I know a couple of people in here have the Envision AI app, so I am going to swipe right or hit my right arrow to read the next little blurb that's under this.
Forum topic by Kartik Mahadevan.
That's who it's by.
51 comments. Last 13 minutes 49 seconds.
Last updated 13 minutes ago.
Which is better, optimized charging or limit to 80%? Heading level 3. Link.
Oh, they made me a liar. It wasn't a blurb.
Introducing Envision Assistant Beta. Heading level 3. Link.
It sounds like charging EVs.
Yeah, that was next. They were talking about is optimized charging better, or I think they said up to 80%. I'm going to activate it with my up and down arrows. I don't know if this is just because I'm on an iPad or if this is their new structure, but it used to be under each heading that you could see like a 3 or 4 sentence little snippet of the article. And then there was a read more. But they may have updated since I was last here, so I'll just open the whole article.
Skip to main content. Link. Introducing Envision Assistant Beta. Heading level 1. Main. Landmark.
And I'll hit H to find the main heading.
Options. Heading level 2. Comments. Heading left. Read all about Envision Assistant. Heading level 3. Link. Bookmark.
Let's see.
Comment. Options. Introducing Envision Assistant Beta.
All right, so that sounds like where we want to be. I'm obviously not going to read through the whole article, but just so you can kind of get a sense.
Bye. Kartik Mahat, April 17th, forum, : IOF, hi everyone. This is Kartik from Envision. About 6 years ago, I came to this forum to post a beta of a new app I was working on called Envision AI.
And then because it's kind of blocking itself, this is when I will do a modifier with the letter B, just to have it reading on so I'm not flicking, or tapping.
Skip to main content, in-page link, AppleVis, visited,
Oh,
link banner.
that didn't work at all. Technology always goes worst in the presentation.
Heading not found. Breadcrumb, heading level, introducing Envision Assistant Beta, heading level 1.
Let's get back to where we were.
Hi this is Kartik from Envision. Link to my original post, previous page, skip to main content, in-page link.
Okay, that failed. I'm going to justify this by saying this is like a 10-year-old iPad. So this is what's going on here. But it's the only one that would connect. But you might have heard this article was written by the developer of Envision AI. So they were probably updating themselves. And it said Envision Assistant, I believe. That sounds like they are pulling in an artificial intelligence component that you can ask questions. That's usually what assistant means.
Welcome to Apple, getting started with.
Let's find some other article titles.
Latest Apple, has anyone introducing and which is better, optimized charging or limit to 80%, heading level 3, link.
Okay, limit to 80%. That's probably a new battery setting.
New AI app for reading images, PixieBot, heading level 3, link.
PixieBot apparently can read images, but that sounds like Be My AI. We don't necessarily need another one.
Looking for robust markdown editor that allows for folder structures, novel writing, that can export to Word files, not Ulysses, heading level 3, link.
Somebody looking for an app, looks like they're trying to publish something.
How to transfer ringtones to my iPhone using a Windows PC or Mac, heading left.
How to transfer ringtones from PC and Mac to the iPhone. So you can see these are kind of their new things for today, but they're all kind of specialized. You're not necessarily going to find a specific topic that you're looking for just browsing through this way. So this portion, which is just the first screen, the home screen of AppleVis, is more just to kind of stumble upon some things. This isn't where you have a specific question in your head and expect to find the article right in front of you. What I'm going to do is I am going to go back up using Shift H to go to that Getting Started link.
Looking new AI, which is introducing and has any latest app, getting started with your first Mac, iPhone, iPad or Apple Watch, heading level 2.
And then because we're using iPads, I'll find the iPad link. Don't worry about trying to remember the steps of where all these things are. This is just to show you guys kind of how to start exploring this page. And if anybody wants to review it in more depth, you can always, as always, come to me or David or Bronwyn or Maura or everyone else in the gang.
Getting started with a new Apple product can be overwhelming. To help, we offer curated lists of selected content from our website to help you familiarize yourself with the accessibility features of your device and answer many of your initial questions. Whether you're new to Apple or an experienced user, these lists will provide valuable information to help you start using your device with confidence. Bullet, list start.
And just right arrowing.
Getting started with your first Mac, link.
All right, we won't deal with the Mac. That's a whole different monster. Let's see if there's an iPad one, since this is an iPad class.
Bullet. Getting started with your first iPhone or iPad, link.
iPhone or iPad. So that's an example right there of how similar, I guess we could say, these devices might be. They don't even bother breaking up the link. It's iPhone or iPad. So I'm going to do a double tap or my up and down arrows to activate this. And I'm going to be brought to a web page that only has articles or tutorials or podcasts related to getting started with the iPhone or iPad.
Skip to main content, in-page link.
All right, I'm on the next page. H to start going through the headings. When in doubt, say whatever website you're on, whether you're using Windows or Apple or Android or Chrome or whatever you are using, JAWS, NVDA, VoiceOver, the letter H is probably going to be your best friend for quick internet navigation. If you learn nothing else or remember nothing else today, just remember H is for headings, or if you're using gestures, you can always use the rotor, but headings is your best friend.
Getting started with iOS and iPadOS. Heading level 1, main, landmark.
H again.
A beginner's guide to using iOS with VoiceOver. Heading level 3, link.
A beginner's guide to using iOS with VoiceOver. That's probably, I'm going to guess, a text article. I'll right arrow to C.
Guide by Tyler On.
Yeah, it's a guide.
Monday, October 12th, 2020.
From 2020. And, the basics haven't changed since then.
For iOS 17. Intro, heading level 3. If you're new to or thinking about getting an iPhone, you may be wondering, as I was at one time, how, exactly, can a person who can't see a screen use a device whose primary input surface is one?
Okay, so that gave us a little snippet of it. So that is a text-based one. I'll hit H again.
A complete list of iOS and iPadOS gestures available to VoiceOver users. Heading level 3, link.
Okay, a complete list of VoiceOver gestures. Usually people are asking for things like that. I should probably download this for myself. Since if you go into the list of VoiceOver commands now, they have all kinds of things that you might not ever do, like 2-finger quadruple tap and seeing what kind of things happen.
Basic navigation, heading level 2.
An article on basic navigation.
A guide to Braille screen input on iOS, heading level 3, link.
Guide to Braille screen input. So one thing I will say is they don't tend to have the best organization. It doesn't seem to go chronologically, doesn't seem to really go by topic beyond what device you're using. But they do always at the top seem to start with the complete beginner's guide to the overall device. But we're still just kind of browsing here until we find something we like.
Before we begin, heading level 3.
Before we begin.
Don't touch it. Type it. A VoiceOver user's guide to using a QWERTY Bluetooth keyboard. Heading level 3, link.
Using a QWERTY keyboard with Bluetooth.
Dive into setting up and using a focus on iOS.
Using a focus on iOS. That's a Braille display. So I'm not going to go through all of these because it's one of the situations where there might be 20 headings here, and then there's a set of links down below that's going to say, like, go to page 2, now go to page 3. I have no idea how many pages there are, but there are probably hundreds of articles. But if I wanted to look for something specific, there is, as there is on most websites, a search box where you can type in maybe a specific app that you have a question on, or any other topic.
Text field not found.
So for some reason, on my keyboard, to find the text field, it's the letter R. Most screen readers, it's the letter E. You would think it would be the letter T, but it's the letter R.
Text field not found. 50 podcast by AppleVis on. Text field.
There it is.
Insertion point at end.
Yep,
Text field is editing. Insertion point.
And I hit the control key to make it shush because it talks too much. And it made a little low-pitched musical noise to tell me that I was no longer in quick nav, so I can type and do what I need to do. Does anybody have a particular topic that they might have an interest in that we might be able to find a short article on? Not to really answer the question, but just to see if they have an answer to the question.
iWatch, maybe something about iWatches?
About the
Oh,
watch.
Apple Watch, I mean.
Yeah. Let's see. So they always have the getting started with the Apple Watch. Let's narrow it down. I'll type in watch.
Space. Watch.
Change face.
Change face.
Skip to main content. In page link.
So now I should be on a page that just has search results related to what I looked for.
Site search. Heading level
Hitting
1.
H.
Main. Filter by top post date. Heading left. Displaying 120 of 567.
There's 560 articles. I'm assuming that the algorithm just found pretty much any article that says change and watch and face. I'm doubting they have 500 articles specifically on the process of changing your watch face.
Ashley, can I ask a question? How about if you put it in quotes? Will it keep it together when you do that search? Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you could definitely put things together like that if you want to do a more advanced search. And there are filters on this page where you can set things like it needs to include all of the words, or I only want text-based things, or I only want podcasts. I'm kind of doing the bare bones version right now.
Having trouble changing watch faces and watch OS 10. Heading
Hey,
level
there you
3.
go.
Link.
So you got
All
it.
right. Yep, that was the first one. So that's probably a person. You can become an AppleVis member for free. You just give them your email address, and then that will allow you, if you wanted to post questions to their forums, post your own app reviews, things like that. They also used to let users post their own podcasts, but then podcast quality went down, so they canceled that portion. But you don't have to be a member to take advantage of any of these things. But if you want to post your own content for other people to take advantage of, then you do have to be a member, just because they have to attribute it to someone. But for myself, I just prefer to browse.
Changing between active watch faces on watch OS 10. Heading level 3. Link.
Changing between faces if you have multiple.
Changing clock face and screens on Apple Watch. Heading level 3.
Changing clock face and screens. So different articles written by different people. Chances are, if you were to Google this same thing, you would get pretty much 90% of your search results. If you were to throw in the word blind or visually impaired, you would end up pretty much being at AppleVis. So if you Googled how to change Apple Watch face using voiceover, you're probably going to land here onto these articles anyway. There are no advertisements. There's no money coming their way, as far as I am aware. And I'm pretty confident in it. I think it's entirely a volunteer-run passion project. There are probably a couple of people there that actually work there and are getting paid to do something, but the people writing these articles are just enthusiasts.
Thank you.
So that is a search result. Then one last thing I want to show is they have something called the app directory. And the app directory is a place where, if you're ever wondering, like, are there any good apps for the visually impaired that can help with reading books, that can help with finding recipes, you can go through a database based on the category, and it will have the name of hundreds of apps, as well as reviews on if they are accessible, if they're free, if they're up to date. So I'll see if I can find that right quick.
Watch.
Let's go back a
Previous
page. And I'll admit, I don't remember the voiceover command on the keyboard to go back a page. I just did the 2-finger scrub on the screen.
Welcome to AppleVis.
Do remember that even if you're connected to a keyboard or a braille display, you can still always touch your screen and do it that way as well. So I am going to do a find command. I did the modifier key in the letter F to search for text. I'm going to look for the word directory.
D-R-E-C-T.
I'm just going to look for the first 2
Add
letters.
directories, in which you will find information submitted by.
All right, found it.
If you are looking for iOS and iPadOS apps which have been developed specifically for blind or low vision users and which will help you in your daily life, you can find our list of these here. Link.
All right, I will do a double tap or up and down arrow on this link.
Skip to main content, in page link.
And now I should be on the page where it gives me different categories that I might want to look at.
Breadcrumb. Heading iOS and iPadOS apps developed specifically for blind or low vision users. Heading level 1. Main. Landmark. Listed below are 118 apps which have been developed specifically for the blind or people with low vision.
Wow.
Oh, this is a new feature. So this one is specifically for people who are blind or visually impaired. I think if I kept going down to maybe the next link, I would have gotten to the mainstream apps that can also be used by people using VoiceOver. And that's where you can pick your category.
This list does not include games.
This list does not include games.
ACB link. Heading level 3. Link.
ACB link.
Accessible flashcards. Heading level 3.
Accessible flashcards. Seems to be in alphabetical order.
IRA. Heading level 3.
IRA, of course.
A media Navi Rec. Heading level 3. Link.
A media Navi Rec.
AMI TV. Heading level 3. Assist IVGID. React Auditor. Heading level 3. Valleyland Magic Class.
I'm gonna have to look at some of these. I've
There's
never even heard of them.
There,
yeah, this said it's a 118. The next one should be Bard, I would think. Yep, there's Bard.
Be My Eyes.
Be My Eyes. So a lot of these people probably know, but even just going through that, I was like, oh, what's that one? What's that one? What's that one? It doesn't necessarily mean that all of these are great. It just said that they were accessible and that they're specifically for the blind. I'm going to go back a page.
Previous page. Skip to main. AppleVis. Skip to main content. Enter search
directory. Let's see if I can find the one I was thinking of.
In which you will find, if you are at Apple TV, link, app and Apple Watch, Mac, iOS and iPadOS, link.
All right. So this is different from the getting started. This is the directories. Let's do iPhone and iPad.
iOS apps, link, list N, iOS and iPad, browse by category.
And now we have our categories.
Bullet, books, link.
Books.
38.
There are 38 apps.
Wow.
And that's just the apps that people have reviewed. That doesn't mean there's only 38 book reading apps in the App Store world.
Business, link.
Business.
39. Bullet. Developer tools, link.
I'm just going to the right.
3.
Bullet.
Education, link. 90. Entertainment, link. 145. Bullet. Finance, 53.
Let's find
food and drink, link.
Everybody likes food.
51.
And drink.
Food and drink.
And there's 51 of them, and drink.
Skip to main content.
So I activated that with up and down arrow, and like everything else, H is your friend. So as I'm hitting H, I'll go through alphabetical order list of different apps. And unless they've changed it since last time, we shouldn't have to go to any other pages to see if the app is accessible, only if we wanted greater detail down below. And then the last 2 things, I know we're running short on time. The last 2 things I will mention, they do have a podcast. If you go to your podcast player of choice and type in AppleVis, They maybe have an episode a week. They will talk about the different updates, new software and hardware that's come out, and sometimes they will do demonstrations, kind of like what we do here, to teach you how to do different things. The most recent one was the best way to share your files between your iPhone and your Windows computer, if that's the setup that you have, just as an example there. They also have a monthly newsletter that you can sign up for on this page. You just give them your email address. They email you once a month with that newsletter, and it gives you the highlights of everything that's been going on. Usually they send you a list of about, I'd say about 8 apps that were talked about or developed, released, or updated this month. And anything that goes through the newsletter is accessible. There is no, I tried this app and it didn't work out well. So the newsletter is really like the Reader's Digest version of everything in here is good according to us. And it will give you prices or if it's free or whatever else it might be. And that's a completely free newsletter as well. It'll also give you direct links to what the users on this webpage have decided are the most useful websites and articles and podcasts for this month as they relate to AppleVis. So if you don't want to be browsing however so often, because there's a lot going on this page, you can just have them deliver you all the good stuff. And that is AppleVis. It's a good website, good podcast service, good newsletter, good resource all around. It is something that I recommend you keep in your toolbox.
For more information, contact Jerry Feliz, Access Technology Director, phone number 857-443-6636, email jfeliz@mapcommunity.org. Thank you so much for watching.